This shit drives me up a fucking wall. Someone tweeted, "Since when did symptoms of COVID 19 include heart problems and strokes?" Always, always. And I'm sorry that the government lied about it. Your bosses and employers don't want to tell you, but this is what COVID does. And I'm no better than anyone else. I didn't know this until I spent time on COVID Twitter and started reading things from 2020 and 2021. For example, this article in May 2020, we knew this then. ACE2, the molecule that helps coronavirus invade your cells. ACE2 is the primary way that COVID gets into your body, and you've probably never heard of it, and you probably don't know what it is. So, what are ACE2 receptors? The more we learn about the science behind COVID 19, the more we are beginning to understand the vital role a single molecule in our bodies plays in how we contract the disease. That molecule, angiotensin converting enzyme 2, or ACE2, essentially acts as a port of entry that allows the coronavirus to invade our cells and replicate. It occurs in our lungs, but also in our heart, intestines, blood vessels, and muscles. Now, let's pause on that for a second. Your lungs, heart, intestine, blood vessels, and muscles? Name something that's not on this list. Name something that doesn't have blood vessels. Oh, wait, I can't think of a single thing. And so ACE2 receptors are all over our blood vessels, which is all this. We have 60,000 miles of blood vessels in our bodies. And so these ACE2 receptors are everywhere, but they also play a role in what's called the renin angiotensin system, which regulates blood pressure, fluid, electrolyte balance, and your vascular resistance. This is an article from the American Heart Association. Let's see what the head of the long COVID clinic at UCLA has to say. I would argue that COVID 19 is not a disease of the lungs at all. It seems most likely that it is what we call a vascular and neurologic infection, affecting both nerve endings and our cardiovascular system. Now, she's not saying that COVID doesn't impact the lungs. I think she's saying that talking about it like a lung disease or a respiratory disease is not helpful, because ultimately what it's doing is messing up our blood vessels, and our brain is our neurologic system. And so, my point in all this is not to scare you, these are just facts. My point is really, why is this not widely talked about? The answer is that the government and business wanted things to go back to normal. Everyday people wanted things to go back to normal too. So everyone is just ignoring the basics of COVID, and they talk about it like a respiratory disease. And to me, it's like if someone said, "Oh, HIV is just an STD. It's the same as herpes. It's the same as gonorrhea. They're all STDs." Each of them are doing very different things, and COVID may enter your respiratory system, but it does not act like a respiratory disease. It goes at your blood vessels, it goes at your brain, and it also messes up your immune system in some ways in common with HIV. So, COVID's really, really fucking nasty. I am sick and tired of people lying to me and saying, "Oh, it's a cold, it's a flu, it felt mild." None of that shit matters. How something feels is not the same as what is going on in your body. And I'll end with this tweet from the Surgeon General under Trump. He says, "People keep on insisting COVID is just a mild cold, and research keeps on coming out showing it is definitely not. The denialism is literally killing us." And he's talking about a study that found young, healthy individuals with mild cases of COVID had objective cognitive deficits at 1 year that they did not perceive. People were having cognitive impairment, and they didn't realize it was happening, but it was shown on tests before COVID and after COVID.